know what it all added up to going, oh, I see, that's what
Hey, good morning. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to kick it off or somebody will, or are we still waiting for folks?
Waiting on Mia to rejoin.
Yeah.
She had to log back out and she's going to log back in.
Yeah, some technical issues this morning. So we'll just, and Mia will start the meeting off.
Perfect. I just want to make sure I wasn't holding anything up.
Thank you.
test your audio.
Left a voicemail from Ellie too. So.
Okay, good morning. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, great. We were having some technical issues in the room here, so we can go ahead and get started real quickly here. Do we need to test something?
Yeah, I can't hear anybody else. Can
somebody unmute themselves and give us a good morning
Can-
so we can hear
good
what's going on
morning.
in the room here?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Keith Worster from DOJ.
Yeah, we're just apparently
Yeah. Internet connection is unstable in the room.
It's the
Yeah,
it's the room.
but
Right.
we can hear people. So yeah, that's
Okay, we can hear you. It's not great, but we're gonna get started anyway.
Okay.
We're having some network instability issues. So good morning. We have some new faces in the room. And okay, got it, recording. Thank you. We have some new faces in the room. We have Secretary Amy Tong is joining us for part of the meeting this morning. And we also have Justin Howard joining us from Government Operations to assist with the chair position today. I'm Mia Marvelli, Executive Director of the Building Standards Commission. And I'll go ahead and ask that Amy Tong go ahead and start the meeting for us.
Yes, hello, good morning, everyone. Glad to be here, although I can only stay for a couple of minutes, but it's a pleasure to be part of this group, and I'm sure there'll be more time to learn. And I guess basically what I do is just to start the meeting, and at I don't even know what time. Oh, 9:06. And would you like me to say a few words, or do you want to move on to the next part of the agenda? How would you like to do this?
Well, if you'd like to, and maybe introduce yourself to the commission real quick, if you have a moment, and then I can read in the instructions for the meeting, which takes a couple minutes.
Got it. Thank you. Yes, as I mentioned, I am the newly appointed Secretary of Government Operations Agency. I officially started on March 1st, so I'm still in this transition mode. Although I'm not new to the state of California or to the agency itself, because I was the Director of Office of Digital Innovation, and prior to that, the Director of California Department of Technology. So it's a sister department to DGS, which I understand it's this particular California Building Standards Commission. It's housed, although this is an independent commission that I have the pleasure to chair. But today, since I'm still in this transition mode, a lot of things still in the learning, I do have my acting undersecretary, who is also the Deputy Secretary of Fiscal and Admin, Justin Howard, going to be stepping in to help to participate or chair the meeting from this point forward. So I guess I look forward to be learning and meeting you all in the coming days. And until that happens, you're in good hands with Justin. I hand it back to you.
Thank you, Secretary Tong. Appreciate that. Well, with your permission, I'll go ahead and ask that Pam take the roll, and then we'll do a Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll get on to the next agenda item. Okay. All right, Pam, can you take the roll, please?
Secretary Amy Tong,
Here.
Deputy Secretary Howard,
Here,
Commissioner Klossbeckner, Commissioner Mickelton, Commissioner Sasaki, Commissioner Patel,
Here.
Commissioner Santillan,
here,
Commissioner Alegre,
Here.
Commissioner Stockwell,
Here.
Commissioner Rambin,
Here.
Commissioner Haskin,
Here.
Commissioner Ramirez.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if we could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, we're ready. Sure. Thank you. With that, I'll go ahead and read the meeting instructions, and then I'll turn this over to Secretary Tong again. We have some new commissioners that we want to swear in, and we have a couple of commissioners that were reappointed by the governor, and so we'll do swearing in for them at the same time. There's a few changes in the agenda, but I'll let you all know about that. Pam, can you mute yourself for a second, please?
Sure.
Thanks. All right, I'll go ahead and read the instructions now. This meeting is being held remotely consistent with Assembly Bill 361 and Executive Order number N122. This meeting can be viewed on the CBSC YouTube channel, linked on the meeting agenda. I'd like to remind the viewers there is a 45-second delay on the YouTube channel. Closed captioning can be available via the Zoom automated live transcription by clicking on the CC Live Transcript button. Closed captioning will automatically appear if you are watching via YouTube. The public may provide comment on each agenda item by calling in on the teleconference line provided on the meeting agenda, or by using the raised hand feature in Zoom. Instructions are provided on the back of the agenda. If you have difficulty with the technology, please call the California Building Standards Commission office at 916-263-0916. I'll now read the phone instructions. So all callers will be in a listen-only mode. If you wish to make a comment on a specific agenda item, please listen for the commission chair to ask for the comments from the public. At that time, please place yourself in the queue by pressing 1 and then 0 on your keypad. When you press 1 and 0, you will be notified when the speaker is ready for your question. To withdraw your question, press 1 and then 0. When it is your turn to comment, you will hear, please ask your question after the tone. A tone will sound and the caller will be in talk mode. The chair will continue through the call queue until there are no questions remaining. The commission will then proceed to the next agenda item. Please note, refrain from pressing 1 and 0 multiple times. Doing this toggles your position in and out of the call queue. Press 1 and 0 only once and wait for your notification to speak. If possible, please call from a landline using the telephone handset only. This enhances the commission's ability to hear your comments clearly. Calling from a speakerphone or a cell phone reduces the quality of the audio and makes it much harder for your comments to be clearly heard. Staff will summarize any comments that we've received by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, March 23rd of 2022. So the next agenda item, I'll turn back over to Secretary Tong for swearing in commissioners. We have a slight change with some of the names. Commissioner Mickelton cannot make it today. We do have Commissioner Jubilin here, and Mr. Ken Sasaki, I believe, is also not here today. So we have two new commissioners, Mr. Haskin and Mr. Ramirez. So sorry about the slight change, but Amy, I'll turn this back over to you for the swearing in of the commissioners.
Yes, I'm happy to. I do need a little bit of a assistant. First of all, Javelin, good to see you. Thank you for continuing in that commission. I don't have the script for the oath. If somebody have that, or we could.
I have a question. I can either have Justin do this, or Pam, maybe you could. I have the regular script. Do you have the oath, Secretary Tom?
Amy, I just emailed you the oath.
Got it. Okay. It should be coming this way. Hopefully we get here any minute.
And if you would like, I can read a little bit about the commissioners if that's okay.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you so much for doing that.
I'll go ahead and do that. All right. So I'm pleased to share that earlier this year, Governor Gavin Newsom reappointed several commissioners, Eric Mickelton, Jubilin Allegre, and Ken Sasaki, to another 4-year term. Commissioner Mickelton is a principal of Mickelton Architecture and continues as a public member. And as a licensed architect and a wheelchair rider, he is experienced and knowledgeable in barrier-free architecture and the requirements necessary to ensure public buildings are accessible. Commissioner Allegre and Sasaki, I'm gonna have to fix this, I'm sorry. Commissioner Allegre is here today. So Commissioner Allegre, she is the fire official for San Diego, and we're pleased to have her for another 4 years. She does a lot of oversight at large public events, inspecting and ensuring the safety of the participants at conventions in the San Diego area. The governor also appointed 2 new commissioners, Mr. Haskins. He's the director of pre-construction at all temperature service air conditioning, Incorporated. And he's a member of the Sheet Metal and Air Conditioning Contractors National Association, known as SMACNA. He was appointed to fill the licensed contractor member seat. And Mr. Frank Ramirez was selected for the public member position, and he previously was a sustainable freight project manager at the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development, so he has a lot of state service experience. Mr. Ramirez earned a Master's of Urban Planning degree from the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. So we're very pleased to have both of you join the commission. And this is a great time to join. We're in the pre-cycle phase right now. So we don't have a lot of rulemaking, so you get to kind of get some experience under your belt before you have to review the massive code changes that we'll have in the coming months. So congratulations, and thank you for your contributions and your dedication to building safety and your willingness to serve. So if Secretary Tong is ready with the oath, we'll go ahead and turn it over to her. Thank you.
All right. I believe I'm ready to go here. And if I may ask the Commissioner to please raise your right hand and repeat after me. All right. I, and please say your name,
Jubilin Allegre,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Is it possible, I was thinking we could do a group swear in for Commissioner Haskin and Commissioner Rivera's. So we have to repeat that again, my apologies.
No problem.
Okay. Thank you for your patience.
All right. Okay, so let's see, what's the best way? Okay. Let's do this again. That was a good practice.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, if I could ask the commissioner to also raise your hand. Let me see. There you go. And I'll slow down on the name part of it, okay? I,
I,
please state your name,
James Daniel Haskin,
Frank Ramirez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I
solemnly
was-
swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United
Constitution
States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
True faith
and allegiance
and
and
allegiance
allegiance.
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United
Constitution of the
States
United States.
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of
Constitution of the
California,
State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
Obligation freely,
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will
and that I will
and faithfully, that I will well and faithfully
well and faithfully
well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
on which
about
I'm
to-
about to enter.
All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. With that, I really appreciate you joining us today. And I think at this juncture, we want to turn it over to Justin Howard. Is that okay?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And I look forward to be meeting with you all coming up soon.
Us too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Secretary Tong, and hi, everybody. Pleased to be here today. We're going to move on to agenda item number 3. Agenda item 3 is comments from the public on issues not on this agenda. As a reminder, comments regarding items not on this agenda may be briefly discussed, but no action may be taken by the commission. At this time, I'd like to remind the public who are on the phone and wish to speak on item 3 to put yourself in the queue now by pressing 1 and then 0. If you'd like to identify yourself, please clearly state your name and who you represent. Barbara, please check Zoom and then the phone for commenters on agenda item 3. Thank you.
So there are no hands raised in Zoom. We'll check the phone.
You have 0 questions remaining.
No comments.
Okay, this concludes agenda item 3. Thank you. The next agenda item is a closed session meeting. The commission will now convene in closed session as authorized by Government Code Section 11126. So the commission may confer or receive advice from the Office of the Attorney General.
So we'll, Barbara, I'm looking at Barbara real quick. I just want to let you all know that Barbara's going to move the commissioners and the attorneys over to a breakout room. And so bear with us for just a minute. It takes a little time on our end to do that.
Yeah.
Right, Barbara?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to mute the phone first.
So we'll see you in a few minutes on the breakout room, and then we'll also be confirming that the YouTube is silent and that the phone system is silent, okay?
all back.
So we're unmuted, so we're good. Okay.
Okay. Welcome back, everyone. The commission has concluded its closed session discussion. There was no action taken during the closed session. Now we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is the Executive Director report. Executive Director Mia Marvelli will provide an overview of commission business. Mia?
Thank you. Well, exciting news that we're really close to getting the 2022 edition of Title 24 published. That will be available July 1 of 2022. We're fine tuning the codification documents and the proofs with the publishers right now. And that will include all the hard work that the commission did the last year to review and approve those revised regulations. We are already starting the 2022 intervening code cycle, which is what creates the blue supplement for the codes. We have a number of workshops that have already started. I'll just go through a few of those right now. Just to remind you, supplement changes can be based on public comments that we received in a prior code cycle, perhaps petitions or legislative mandates. The intervening code cycle workshop phase can begin anytime. And the initial rulemakings will be due to the Building Standards Commission December 1 of 2022. Workshops that we have scheduled for BSC we have one on April 4th. And that is for it's a joint workshop with the Division of the State Architect, and it's called the Cal Green Carbon Reduction Collaborative. We anticipate that we'll have a meeting every other month. The BSC and DSA staff will convene this work group, and it's comprised of interested parties and state agencies that'll provide input and feedback for future carbon reduction regulations in the Cal Green Code. These will be virtual meetings, and you can find the notice to that meeting on our 2022 pre-cycle rulemaking webpage. And an email was sent out last week on that. We have another workshop for the Electric Vehicle Charging Collaborative scheduled for April 14th. That meeting notice will probably go out today or tomorrow. We also have been participating in the International Existing Building Code Compliance Path workshops that are being conducted by the Office of the State Fire Marshal. So far, they've conducted 2 workshops. One was on February 23rd, and the other one was on March 23rd. And the group is discussing possible adoption of chapters 6 through 11 and 13. Department of Housing and Community Development staff, as well as the Building Standards Commission staff, Division of the State Architect, and of course the Office of the State Fire Marshal, along with interested parties, have participated in these workshops and addressed different issues associated with the compliance path, such as scope and applicability, fire life safety, elevator safety, accessibility, and structural requirements are being considered. This may result in rulemakings that will be brought before the commission next year. We'll also be conducting a bird-friendly building design workshop. We don't have a date set for that, so I anticipate that'll be in May. We also are going to be conducting a plumbing code workshop. Also, the date for that is in the near future. We'll be working with the Department of Housing and Community Development to address the possible adoption of Appendix M, which has design criteria for reduced water fixture plumbing design tables. I'd also like to mention that on April 7th, we have another commission meeting. We'll be discussing the Title 24 rulemaking process, public engagement, and participation. This agenda item is in response to a motion by the Building Standards Commission at its January 18th meeting. The meeting agenda and materials are available on the BSC calendar page. And this will be an in-person meeting. at 1500 Capitol Avenue in the auditorium on the first floor. And that start time is 10 a.m., allowing for commissioners to travel to the venue. You can also participate via Zoom, but the commissioners that want to take motions and participate in the meeting will be in person. Last item regarding rulemaking is we have a tentative date of May 3rd for our coordinating council meeting. I'll be working with the state agencies to see if they're available that day, and we'll conduct a coordinating council meeting to talk about many of the items I just talked about on the workshops, but also any other legislative or items that need to be coordinated between the state agencies. We do have quite a number of education and outreach events that we'll be participating in. And I think people are kind of going back to in-person events. So we'll be traveling a little bit this spring. We've got the County Building Officials Association event, which is in Yosemite, and that's April 17th through the 20th. Several of us will go and discuss the state agency panel updates. We have a Building Safety Month coming up. That's to support ICC's Building Safety Month in May. We have a CalBO annual business meeting, which is May 9th through the 12th. We're also participating in a San Diego International Code Council chapter meeting on May 17th. We have a Green Facilities Forum on May 25th. And we're doing a series of education events with the city of San Francisco, hour-long meetings on June 1st, 8th, and the 15th. Those are virtual. And then, of course, we have the ICC Tri-Chapter meeting in June. That's June 3rd. And we'll be providing a Building Standards Commission update at that meeting as well. The last item I'd like to bring to your attention is I want to let everyone know that if you haven't heard already, Mr. Mike Neerman retired in January of this year. He was with the Building Standards Commission for over 20 years and was intricately involved in the development of the California Building Standards Code. During his tenure, he contributed greatly to the regulatory rulemaking process. The practices guided the state agencies through the process for multiple code cycles. In addition, Mike was very dedicated to the Building Standards Commission and was present at every public meeting since his appointment as a Deputy Executive Director, which was in 2011. You can read more about Mike on our CalCode Quarterly Winter Edition that just went out last month. And we wish him well on his new adventures. I know that his hobbies were racing, cars, and spending time with family. So we want to thank him for his service. And that concludes my executive overview, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
This item is open for commission discussion. If there's any questions for Mia, now would be the time. Okay, seeing none. At this time, I'd like to remind the public who are on the phone and wish to speak on item 5 to put yourself in the queue now by pressing 1 and 0. Barbara, please check Zoom and then the phone for commenters on agenda item 5. Thank you.
There are no hands raised in Zoom. We'll check the phone.
You have 0 questions remaining.
No comments.
All right, thank you. That concludes the public comment portion of this agenda item. There are no action required of the commission at this time. We're going to move on to agenda item 6. Next on the agenda is future agenda items. Do any of the commissioners have any items that they wish to be placed on future agendas? Seeing nothing specific. Does anyone from the public have items they wish to have placed on future agendas? At this time, I'd like to remind you who are on the phone and wish to speak to put yourself in the queue now by pressing 1 and 0. If you'd like to identify yourself, please clearly state your name and who you represent. Barbara, please check raise hands in Zoom and then the phone for agenda item 6 commenters. Thank you.
We have no hands raised in Zoom,
You have 0 questions remaining.
no comments.
That concludes the public comment portion for agenda item 6, future agenda items. I will turn item 6 back over to the commissioners and ask if the commissioner is ready. There are none, so we don't need it. We'll speed with that. No comment. Hearing none, we will. I guess we move on to agenda item 7. Mia, is that correct? Okay, we're ready to adjourn. So this will conclude the California Building Standards Commission meeting for today. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Rampin, move to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Commissioner Patel seconds.
Okay, it is moved and seconded. Commissioners in favor, please indicate by stating aye.
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 Those opposed, please indicate by stating no. If abstaining, please state this as well. Well, thank you all. This meeting is adjourned and it is 10:04 a.m.
Thank you, Justin, for chairing. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you all on the 7th.
Thanks, Mia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.